Picture this. You have just finished a 16-hour shift.
Oh, man.
Your feet are throbbing.
Yeah.
Your head is absolutely pounding with the hum of fluorescent lights.
Yeah.
And the smell of antiseptic, it is just clinging to your clothes like a second skin.
It never washes out either.
Never. You are a trauma nurse in a high-crime city. In the last 12 hours alone, you have seen the absolute worst of humanity. We're talking gunshot wounds, domestic abuse, the kind of visceral, ugly violence that haunts you long after you clock out.
It's stuff that changes you.
Right. So you are bone tired. You walk into your sanctuary, your bedroom, the one place in the entire world where you were supposed to be safe. You toss your keys on the dresser, turn to your bed, and there, sitting perfectly centered on your pillow, is a mask.
And not a fun mask.
No, not a masquerade mask. A skull-faced, tactical, ballistic mask.
It creates this immediate primal spike of adrenaline just imagining it.
Exactly. And the kicker, you recognize it?
Yeah.
It belongs to a man you've been watching online.
Huh.
A man who makes these, well, thirst trap videos where he stalks the camera, playing with knives. Someone has been in your house.
Someone might still be in your house.
Right. Now, the logical brain, the survival instinct, it screams at you to call 911. Run, get out. But you
don't run.
You do not run. You lock the bedroom door from the inside, you pick up your vibrator, and you challenge the darkness to come out and play.
That reaction right there, that is the pivot point. That is where we leave the realm of a standard thriller and enter a genuinely fascinating psychological case study.
Yeah.
Because you have to ask, is it a malfunction of the fight or flight response? Or is it a radical reclamation of agency?
Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we are turning the lights off and diving headfirst into the pitch-black world of Lights Out by Navessa Allen.
And let's be clear up front, this isn't your standard romance novel.
Not at all.
It's a dark stalker romance that takes the classic damsel in distress trope, sets it completely on fire, and then, roasts marshmallows over the flames.
It really does. It's a text that sits comfortably or maybe uncomfortably right at the intersection of horror and intimacy. And we have a lot of ground to cover today. We're looking at the book itself, obviously, but we're also going to pull in some psychological frameworks to help us understand what makes these two incredibly intense characters tick.
We'll be discussing Jungian shadow work, the McDonald triad of sociopathy, and the very real concept of compassion fatigue.
Our mission today is to unpack how two broken people navigate that razor-thin line between fear and desire. We want to look at why a woman whose entire job is saving lives would fantasize about a man who looks like he takes them.
It's quite the paradox.
It is. And we're going to ask the big question, can you actually find safety in the arms of a monster?
Or, to put a finer point on it, is the monster under the bed actually the only person who is capable of truly seeing you? This book asks you to suspend your conventional morality for a moment and look at the actual functionality of trauma bonding.
So let's start with the architecture of this story. We have two leads who are essentially mirror images of trauma. Let's meet Allie first. She's our eyes and ears.
She's the ER nurse.
Yeah, an ER nurse in a major city. And the book makes it very, very clear from page 1. She is not just tired. She is completely hollowed out.
Allie is a character that I think a lot of people in high-stress professions will resonate with immediately because she is in a state of advanced burnout. And I don't just mean she needs a weekend away or a vacation. I mean, she is suffering from what psychologists call compassion fatigue.
Let's differentiate that for the listener really quick. How is compassion fatigue different from just, having a terrible week at work?
It's a crucial distinction. Burnout is usually about systems. It's too much paperwork, bad management, long hours.
Institutional stuff.
Right. But compassion fatigue is specifically the cost of caring. It's a secondary traumatic stress. It happens when you are so continually overexposed to the suffering of others that your brain's ability to empathize begins to just shut down as a defense mechanism.
It's a survival tactic.
Exactly. In the book, we see this perfectly illustrated when Allie is training a new nurse, Brinley. Brinley sees a shotgun wound come into the ER and she just falls apart. She's crying, she's shaking, she's having a very normal human reaction to trauma.
And Allie
feels absolutely nothing.
Nothing.
She looks at this traumatized new girl and thinks to herself, and this is a quote, the new girl wasn't doing too well. I saw it almost every shift.
It's chilling how detached she is.
But she has to be. She has compartmentalized her emotions so strictly just to function at work that she has essentially nummified her entire life. She lives alone. She has a cat named Fred.
Who is excellent, by the way.
Oh, a real scene stealer. But otherwise, her life is a fortress.
a literal fortress. I
Hmm.
mean, she calls herself career-focused, but it reads way more like survival-focused. She sleeps with an absolute arsenal.
We are exaggerating for effect here. She has a gun in the drawer, a knife within reach, a bat by the door. She is hyper-independent and hyper-vigilant.
This is a woman who sees the world as a predator. Every shadow could be a threat. But here is the paradox, and this is crucial to understanding the whole genre. In her downtime, to relax, she consumes content that simulates that exact predation.
The faceless man.
Yes, she watches the faceless man on social media. Let's unpack him. This is Josh's alter ego, our male lead. He posts these videos where he wears full tactical gear and a skull mask, holding knives, looming over the camera.
It's incredibly aggressive.
It's aggressive, it's threatening, and Allie just loves it. Why? Why does that appeal to her?
It's all about the surrender of control. Think about Allie's day-to-day life. She makes life-or-death decisions every single minute. If she makes a mistake with a medication dosage or a triage decision, someone literally dies. That is a crushing cognitive load to carry around. So in her fantasy life, she craves the exact opposite. She wants to be taken, to be overwhelmed. If someone else is in control, even if they're ostensibly scary, she doesn't have to make any decisions. It's a controlled release of anxiety through eroticized fear.
Ah, I see. So real danger involves chaos and uncertainty, which she hates because she has to manage it. But this fantasy danger is perfectly structured. It focuses entirely on her.
Exactly. It's a somatic release. It allows her to feel the adrenaline without the actual threat to her life. It effectively helps her process the stress hormones she accumulates during her shift.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Now let's flip the coin to Josh. If Allie is the burned-out savior, Josh is the reluctant monster. And his background is, well, it's heavy.
Extremely heavy.
It's not just that he's socially awkward or a bit of a loner. He has a legacy.
Josh is a heartbreaking character when you strip away the tactical gear and the scary mask. He is a wealthy cybersecurity expert, a recluse, but his defining trait is profound shame. He is the son of George Marshall Seacliff.
A name that carries a lot of weight in their world.
Right. In the world of the book, Seacliff is a notorious serial killer. You can compare him to a Ted Bundy type. And the tragedy for Josh is that he looks exactly like his father. He has the same build, the same face, the same eyes.
So he is living in this constant suffocating shadow of nature versus nurture.
He is paralyzed by it. He literally checks his own behavior against the McDonald triad.
Okay, I've heard of this in criminal psychology. It's the 3 signs that supposedly predict serial killers in childhood, right?
Correct. The triad consists of bedwetting, which is enuresis, fire starting or pyromania, and animal cruelty. Now, it's an older theory. Modern criminology views it with a lot more nuance today, but for Josh, it is a Bible.
He takes it as absolute fact.
He is constantly monitoring his own mind for these markers. He asks himself things like, did I enjoy that fire too much? Do I want to hurt this cat? He has lived his entire life in a state of severe suppression.
He genuinely believes he has a monster gene inside him.
Precisely. He treats his own personality like a ticking time bomb that could go off at any moment. So he creates the faceless man.
As an outlet.
It's a sublimation. He has these dark urges, a desire for control, maybe a desire to instill fear, or perhaps just a desire to feel powerful in a way that isn't wrapped in shame. So instead of acting on them in the real world and hurting people, he channels them into a harmless, consensual performance online.
So he gets to be the monster for 30 seconds on a video, so he doesn't have to be one in real life.
Yeah.
It's literally his therapy.
It's his primary coping mechanism. So you look at these two. You have Allie, who needs to lose control to feel safe, and Josh, who needs to exert control to feel safe. They are perfect narrative puzzle pieces.
And the kicker here, they actually know each other. Sort of.
In passing, yeah.
Josh is the roommate of Tyler, a guy Allie used to hook up with casually. And Josh has been watching her from afar. He's fascinated by her strength, but he is terrified to approach her because he thinks he's toxic. He legitimately thinks he will contaminate her with his darkness.
Which adds this beautiful layer of yearning to the whole setup. He isn't stalking her initially because he wants to possess her like an object. He's watching her because she represents a kind of resilience he admires deeply.
Until the inciting incident happens. The text message heard round the world.
Oh, this is so good.
Allie, thinking she's texting Tyler for a late-night hookup, sends a screenshot of one of Josh's videos. She has no idea. The faceless man is Josh.
Right. He's wearing a mask.
She just says, essentially, come over, wear a mask like this, and I'll make it worth your while.
Talk about a fateful error. Josh sees the text pop up because he's sitting right next to Tyler, and Tyler, being a bit of a tool, honestly, dismisses it. Just laughs it off.
But Josh
Josh freezes. He realizes in that moment that the woman he's been pining for from a distance wants exactly the kind of darkness he's been trying so hard to hide.
This is the ultimate green light. But Josh, being Josh, he doesn't just knock on her front door with a bouquet of flowers and say, hey, I'm the guy in the mask, let's date.
No, of course not.
He goes full stalker mode. He breaks into her house. And I really want to pause here because we need to discuss the morality flip the author pulls off.
It's the central tension of the book's first act. Josh breaks in. Let's be clear. That is a crime. It is a massive violation of privacy. In the real world, this is a felony, and it is terrifying. But the author frames it through this very specific caregiver-stalker lens. Look at what he actually does once he gets inside the house.
He picks the lock, yes, which is scary. But why does he pick it?
Because he realizes her deadbolt is weak. He literally notes that she needs a better security system. He installs a hidden camera, not just to creepily watch her, but to ensure she's safe when he's not there. He fixes things.
He's the most protective home invader in history. It's like, I'm going to break in, but I'm also going to leave a sticky note about your window latches being faulty.
He is operating under a very twisted form of care. He wants to be her guardian, but he only knows how to operate from the shadows because he fundamentally believes he belongs in the shadows. So he leaves the mask on her pillow as a test.
A test.
He wants to know, does she just want the fantasy? Or can she handle the reality?
And this brings us right back to that opening scene we talked about. Allie finds the mask. She realizes someone was there. And instead of terror, she feels seen.
She finds the camera he planted. And this is the twist that brilliantly subverts the whole stalker genre. Usually in a thriller, the heroine is the victim. She is passive, she waits to be rescued, or she runs away.
Allie refuses to be a victim.
He starts communicating with him through the camera. She looks right into the lens. She asks him, how can I trust you wouldn't hurt me?
And he replies, you can't.
That honesty, it creates instant intimacy. It completely cuts through the polite social contracts we usually rely on. He isn't lying to her to make her comfortable. He's saying, I am dangerous, but I am offering you this danger.
And then she turns the tables on him. She realizes that if he was in her house, physically in her bed, he might have left DNA. And she finds a single hair on her pillow.
Ally is a woman of science. This is what I love so much about her characterization. She doesn't just get emotional or scared. She gets analytical. She grabs the hair. She takes it to the lab at work.
He runs a DNA test against a sample she has access to. She threatens to match it against a mystery patient to find his true identity. She basically uses her hospital resources to counter-stalk her stalker.
She tracks his location. She fully engages in the game. She isn't cowering in a corner. She's actively participating. And this shifts the whole dynamic from predator and prey to playmates. It's a cat and mouse game where the mouse is heavily armed and extremely dangerous.
It's empowering in a very dark, highly specific way. But just as they are doing this intricate dance of are you a monster or aren't you a real monster, enters the chat, we have to talk about Brad Bloom.
Enter the narrative foil. Brad is so essential to this story because he defines the difference between aesthetic darkness and actual predatory evil. Josh looks like a serial killer, but he acts with consent, care, and protection. Brad, on the other hand, looks like a normal, average guy. He's bland, wealthy, totally unthreatening on the surface, but he is a true predator.
Allie meets Brad in the ER. He's the brother of a patient she's treating. But she spots it immediately. She calls it the look.
That's her intuition, completely honed by years of dealing with trauma in the ER. She recognizes the emptiness in his eyes, the total lack of empathy. Brad threatens her in a very subtle, plausible deniability kind of way at the hospital. He manages to find out where she lives. And unlike Josh, who broke in to fix her lock and leave a toy, Brad breaks in with a kill kit.
Rope, knife, duct tape. This is real, unconsensual danger.
This is the turning point of the entire story. It's the night everything changes for them. Brad breaks in, but what he doesn't know is that Josh, the fake monster, is already there. Josh is sleeping over.
The clash between these two men is brief, but it is brutal.
Yeah.
Josh intercepts Brad in the dark. But here's the key, and you really have to pay attention to this as a reader.
Yeah.
Allie joins the fight.
She does.
She doesn't hide in the closet. She doesn't wait for Josh to save the day. She jumps right in. She stomps on Brad's ribs. She punches him. They subdue this guy together.
It's a team sport all of a sudden, but then the accident happens. They're trying to restrain him, trying to figure out how to transport him without calling the cops, and Josh accidentally suffocates Brad with the duct tape.
And this is the high-impact psychological moment of the book. Brad is dead. Josh looks down at the body, and he just spirals. He
Mm-hmm.
starts vomiting. He is panicking, not just because he killed a man, which, is traumatic enough for anyone, but because of what it represents to his internal narrative.
He thinks this is it. The prophecy is fulfilled. I am my father. I am a killer.
He sees this as his biological destiny finally catching up to him.
Exactly. He thinks he has crossed the event horizon and there's no going back.
And Allie.
Yeah.
She doesn't scream. She doesn't run for the phone to call 911. She comforts him.
She deeply validates his humanity in that moment. She says, essentially, you didn't kill him because you enjoyed it. You killed him to protect me. You killed a predator. It is a moment of radical acceptance. She sees him standing over a dead body, and she doesn't see a monster. She sees her partner.
Which leads directly to the most bizarrely wholesome road trip in literary history.
It really is.
They have a corpse in the trunk of the car. They're driving through a blinding snowstorm, and they are eating apple slices and emotionally bonding.
The conversation in the car is so pivotal. Josh confesses, I don't feel bad. He's terrified that his lack of guilt about Brad's death proves he's a sociopath just like his dad. But Allie reframes it for him.
How does she explain it?
She argues that killing a threat to survive or to protect someone you love is fundamentally not the same as killing for pleasure. She acts as his external moral compass, recalibrating his warped self-perception. She tells him that feeling relief that a threat is neutralized is not the same as enjoying the act of murder.
That makes total sense.
Yeah.
And then we get the reveal of Allie's world. They are driving. They can't go to the police because, well, it's complicated, and Josh looks highly suspicious. So Allie says, we're going to my Uncle Nico's.
And this is where we find out that Allie isn't just a tough ER nurse. She is the niece of a high-ranking mob boss.
I love this twist so much. It balances the scales between them perfectly. Because up until now, Josh thought he was the dark one, and Allie was the light one.
It does. It brilliantly contrasts chaotic evil, which is Josh's dad, the serial killer who kills randomly and for sick pleasure, with lawful evil.
The mob.
Right. The mob who kills for business, for structure, for family.
And the scene at Uncle Nico's house is absolute comedy gold. It's 4 a.m. They walk into this opulent, quiet mansion. Uncle Nico is just standing there making espresso, and Allie casually drops, yeah, we killed someone.
And the family just springs into action. There's no panic. It's purely procedure. Call Jimmy, get the cleanup crew, get the car detailed. It's absurdly wholesome how supportive they are of their niece's homicide.
It's like she told him she got a flat tire on the highway.
It really is. You have these tough guys running around in pajamas getting burner phones, but it creates this incredibly fascinating dynamic for Josh. Think about it. He's always felt like an outsider, a freak. Suddenly, he's standing in a room full of people who solve problems with violence, but they do it out of love and loyalty to each other.
He finally fits in.
For the first time in his life, his darkness isn't a liability. It's a skill set that is respected in this environment. But he still has to prove himself to them.
Which brings us to the climax of the book, the heist. They need to get rid of the evidence. Specifically, they need to wipe Brad's computer history so the police don't link Brad's disappearance back to Allie.
So we get this great team up, the mob crew, plus Josh and Allie. Josh dresses up as a power company technician to infiltrate Brad's neighborhood in broad daylight.
The tension here is so cinematic. Josh is inside Brad's house, hastily hacking the computer. Allie is outside in the van, listening in on the comms. But then the police show up.
Well, Brad's parents show up first, which immediately triggers a potential police response.
Right. Josh is trapped. He's in the office upstairs. He has successfully wiped the drive, but he can't get out of the house without being seen by the parents or the cops. And this is where Josh makes a massive sacrifice.
He realizes that if Brad's parents find the computer wiped but nothing else, they might actually use their money and influence to cover up for their son. He needs the police to enter the house legally and find the bodies in the basement.
Brad's previous victims.
Yes. So Josh, knowing it completely risks his own capture and his own freedom, deliberately smashes the window. He sets off the house alarm intentionally.
He forces the issue. He ensures Brad is exposed as a serial killer. Even if it means Josh himself might go to jail, he jumps out the second-story window into the snow.
And the escape sequence that follows is pure adrenaline. He's injured from the fall. He's limping through the freezing woods. The mob guys have already fled the scene. Allie is supposed to be gone. She had a clear exit, but she's not gone.
She waited for him. She ran into the woods toward the sirens to find him.
It's the ultimate ride or die moment. This is when Josh finally realizes she isn't a damsel he needs to protect from a distance. She's a force of nature. She refuses to leave him behind. They flee through the deep snow together, totally battered and bruised.
When they finally get safe.
Yeah.
When they get back to the mob warehouse and switch out the cars, the intimacy levels just go off the charts. And I don't just mean the physical spice, though. Let's be honest, the book does not shy away from that at all.
No, it certainly delivers on that front. But you're right, it's the emotional intimacy that lands the hardest. There's a scene where they are showering the blood and the dirt off each other. It's almost like a baptism in a way. They're washing away all the pretenses.
Josh finally realizes he isn't his father. His father killed innocents. Josh killed a monster to protect someone he loves.
And Allie realizes she doesn't have to be the strong one all the time. She can let go. She can let Josh take control. That BDSM dynamic they've been playing with the dominance and submission, it becomes an actual healing tool for her. It's shadow work in practice.
Shadow work. I really like that term. Explain that for the listeners who might not be familiar with Jungian psychology.
It's a core concept developed by Carl Jung. The shadow is the part of ourselves we deny or hide away. The anger, the lust, the selfishness, the capacity for violence. Jung argued that you can't be a whole, healthy person until you acknowledge and integrate your shadow. If you constantly repress it, it comes out in destructive, unhealthy ways.
Like Josh's dad.
Exactly. Most people spend their entire lives running from their shadow. Allie and Josh, they invite their shadows out to dinner. They look at the darkness inside themselves and say, okay, you're a part of me. How can we use this constructively?
Speaking of dinner, the book ends with an epilogue that is just, it's perfection. They attend a formal family dinner at Uncle Nico's.
And the power dynamic shifts yet again. Nico is used to being the terrifying, unquestioned boss, but Josh has fully accepted his own nature now. He stands right up to Nico. He basically says, I don't care about you or your rules or your mob. I care about her.
And Nico respects it.
He absolutely does.
It's the perfect integration of their two weird worlds. The hacker stalker and the nurse mob niece. A match made in, well, hell, maybe.
Yeah.
But it works.
It works beautifully because they provide exactly what the other needs to survive. It's a totally symbiotic relationship.
So let's zoom out a bit as we wrap up. We've covered the plot, the twists, the psychology. But what are the deeper themes here? Why does a book like Lights Out resonate so strongly with readers right now?
I think it speaks profoundly to the sheer exhaustion of modern life, specifically for women. Allie is tired of making decisions. She is tired of being responsible for life and death. The fantasy of the stalker in fiction, let's be very clear, purely in fiction, is the fantasy of being wanted so intensely that you don't have to do anything. The burden of decision is taken completely out of your hands.
It's about being the sole focus of someone's world. That feeling of, I will burn the entire world down for you. It's obviously toxic in reality, but it is deeply intoxicating in fiction.
Exactly. It also touches on the nature of fear itself. The book eroticizes fear, the knife play, the stalking, as a way to reclaim power over it. If you choose the fear, if you actively consent to it, it's no longer something that just happens to you. It's something you play with. It transforms the trauma response into pleasure.
Yeah, let's not forget the humor. We really haven't talked enough about Fred the cat.
Oh, Fred is the unsung hero of the novel. Josh is terrified he's going to hurt the cat because of his serial killer genes, but the cat just loves him instantly. Animals know. It's a very subtle cue to the reader that Josh is good, long before Josh believes it himself.
And the banter. Even when they are literally hauling a dead body, they are bickering and flirting. It keeps the story from becoming too grim or suffocating.
It humanizes them. It reminds us that even in the most extreme, terrifying situations, people are still just people. They get hungry, they get cold, they get annoyed by bad drivers, even when they have a corpse in the trunk. It grinds the high drama against the mundane reality of life.
So what does Lights Out ultimately ask us to consider?
It asks a really probing question. What parts of yourself are you hiding right now because you think they are too dark or too broken to be loved? And it suggests that perhaps true love isn't about finding someone who fixes you.
Right.
It's about finding someone whose demons play well with yours.
That is a very powerful thought. In a world full of real monsters like Brad men who hide behind a polished mask of normalcy, maybe the guy in the skull mask who watches over you while you sleep isn't the villain of the story after all.
Sometimes the monster is the best protection you can get against the dark.
If you want a story that will keep you on the edge of your seat, make you laugh, and definitely make you blush a little, check out Lights Out by Navessa Allen. It is a wild, unforgettable ride.
Just maybe change your locks afterwards, just in case.
Sage advice as always. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Sleep tight. And don't forget to check under the bed. You might actually like who you find there.
Or not, please lock your doors.
Catch you next time.